All right, let's just get straight into it because something huge is happening right now in the online world. And honestly, you need to know about it. And look, this isn't some guess or a forecast. This is what's happening on the ground, right now, on the front lines of a battle for online survival.
So let's just rip the Band-Aid off and ask the big question, the one everyone's thinking. Is this the end of Google? I mean, it sounds dramatic, right? But for thousands, literally thousands of businesses, the Google they built their entire company on, it's already gone.
Okay, so to really get what's going on, we got to look at a specific case. Let's call them patient zero in this whole thing. We're talking about Monday.com, and we're fast-forwarding to the year 2025. What went down with them? Well, it's a massive billion-dollar warning sign for every single one of us.
Just try to wrap your head around this. 30%. The stock price plummets by 30%. Not over a year, not a quarter, in 1 week. For a public company, that is an absolute catastrophe. But the reason it happened, that's the part that should really keep you up at night.
So what was the culprit? It wasn't that they missed their profit targets. It wasn't some bad product launch. Nope. Monday.com came right out and said it. Their entire growth engine, the thing that fed their business, was just killed. By what? By Google's AI overviews. You know, those AI answers that pop up right at the top of the search results? Yeah, those. They basically make it so you never have to click on a link again. And if you want to see just how bad the damage is, look at the numbers. AI overviews are now showing up in almost half of all searches. And because of that, the average click-through rate, the number of people who actually click on a search result, it's taken an absolute nosedive. We're talking from almost 3% all the way down to less than 1%. And why? It's simple. People get their answer right there from the AI, so they just don't click. The traffic, it just evaporates.
Look, it would be one thing if this was just about Monday.com, but it's not even close. Their story is just the first little tremor before the big earthquake that's shaking the entire B2B world. We're seeing a really, really uncomfortable pattern here.
Just look at these symptoms. Seriously, does any of this sound familiar to you? You've got SaaS companies losing up to 80% of their organic traffic. Just poof, gone overnight. The only people searching for B2B services are the ones who already know the brand name. Oh, and the cost to get a new customer, it's tripled. And the crazy part? Most marketing teams are still running plays from a 2019 playbook, like nothing's changed.
And here's the kicker, the part that's just really tough to swallow. The leaders at Monday and at so many other companies, they're not going to say this out loud, but they knew this was coming. Every single executive saw the writing on the wall when ChatGPT first came out. They saw the signal. And what did they do? 90% of them did nothing. They just crossed their fingers and hoped it would all kind of blow over.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. There are some companies that are making it through this. They're surviving. And it's because they didn't just sit around and hope, they got ready. And what they did has basically written a brand new survival playbook for this new world.
So what are these survivors doing? It really boils down to 3 things. First, they diversified their channels way before the crisis hit. They weren't all in on Google. Second, they focused on building real direct relationships with their audience. Think communities, their own media channels. And third, they're using AI to make their outbound sales way, way smarter and more effective, not just to write blog posts. Okay, I need you to really hear this. That Google traffic, it's not coming back. The core problem, the fundamental flaw this whole crisis blew wide open, was a complete and total dependence on a channel you have zero control over. You were building your entire business on rented land, and the landlord just changed the rules of the game forever. So, fixing this isn't just about trying a few new tactics. It's much deeper than that. It requires a fundamental mindset shift, a totally new way of thinking about your company's place in the world. It's about moving from one idea to another. And here's what that shift looks like. It all comes down to this. The old way, the way we've been doing things for a decade, was all about being discovered. You were totally dependent on algorithms, you ran the SEO playbook, and that made you incredibly vulnerable. The new way? It's about being remembered. This is built on actual relationships. You own your media, and that makes you resilient.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? It feels like a paradox. But the future, it's really all about the past. The strategy that works now is actually the original strategy, building close, direct, authentic relationships with your customers. You know, back when growth wasn't about gaming an algorithm, but about actually connecting with people.
And here's the biggest twist in this whole story. The very same technology that started this whole mess, artificial intelligence, it's also the key to the solution. It's true, AI is both the poison and the antidote. The goal isn't to replace human relationships with AI. The goal is to use AI as a massive accelerator to build more of those genuine connections, but at a scale we never thought possible. So, where does that leave you? What does all of this actually mean for your business today? Well, it means your number one goal, your North Star, has completely changed. The question isn't, how do I rank on Google anymore? That game, it's over. There's a whole new game now, with a totally different way to win.
And this right here, this is the question you need to be asking in every single meeting from now on. Forget the algorithm. Ask this: how do we become absolutely impossible to ignore in our customer's mind? How do we build a brand, a community, an experience that's so valuable that Google's algorithm becomes completely irrelevant? Because that's the only strategy that's going to matter from here on out.